about how you can search LinkedIn and use LinkedIn beyond your profile. So we have a lot of stuff in our community about improving your profile. There's a lot of powerful tools to do that. But that's kind of like creating a website and thinking people are going to come. Build it and they will come does not work on our websites. It might work on LinkedIn if you're in a super high demand field. But when it comes right down to it, if you want to own your career, if you want to end up somewhere you want to be, we really need to be more active and strategic in the way that we use these tools. So say hello, let me know that you're joining me. I look forward to talking with you. If you have been using LinkedIn search, type in yes. So if you've been using LinkedIn search, type in yes. And I look forward to hearing from you. Have you been using LinkedIn search? And then if you're kind of an advanced user, go ahead and drop in some of the ways that you love to search. Might pick some of those and highlight them today. But of course, we have a plan of how you can use these tools to go beyond just having your profile and hoping someone finds it, to really using LinkedIn as a tool in your client's job search. Hopefully you can teach them some of these things. And also in your career, if you want to advance your career within an organization, or if you want to build your business. So good to see you. Thanks, Jeff. It has been a long time. Hi, Wendy. Good to see you. Betsy, thanks for stopping by. Hi, Andrea. Excellent. All right. Well, we'll get going here. We always have some technical issues every time. But that's all right. We're here and we look forward to talking about how you can use LinkedIn in a little different way. So we've been teaching LinkedIn since 2015, 2016 for digital branding. The class used to be specific to LinkedIn. Now we've broadened it a little bit. We'll talk about that a little bit next week if you want to join me on the Career Thought Leaders page next week. Oh, good. We've got some yeses coming in. Jeff's been using it for a long time. Some of you say yes, yes on it every day. Excellent. So as I go through, share some of the other things that you would do in addition to what we're going to talk about today. And let's see if we can dive in using a little different system. And so we'll see if I can share my screen and get that to you. All right, so let's dive into LinkedIn search and some of these ways that our clients can use search. Now, one of these we're going to talk about is sort of new. It was around for a while. It didn't work real great for a while, but now it's all off and running. And it gives us that opportunity to really connect with our candidates. We're also going to talk about some different things we might want to know when we're going to be doing search. So, basic thing to start with on LinkedIn is I always try to remember to just put my cursor in the search bar and hit enter and start my search that way. What does this do? It gives you all the options. It doesn't clutter up your search. You know exactly what you're searching for when you start. So when we first started teaching LinkedIn, we were teaching people to search LinkedIn, but the challenge was that when you're searching LinkedIn, you may not be able to tell, is this person active or not? So there's a lot of different ways you can search LinkedIn, but if we're not sure, is this active or not, then you don't know, right? And so this is the first thing, new thing that you can see is that you can now search by who is active on LinkedIn. And that's a little small, so I'm going to see if I can make it a little bit bigger here in your LinkedIn search. Let's see. There we go. All right, that's a little bit bigger. Hopefully, Laura, now you can see the screen. Excellent. All right. So here we go. Key number one, finding people who are actually active on the platform is that we want to search by posts. Now, if you search a different way and then you click onto posts, a lot of times it zeroes out your search. So if you want to search by who is active on this platform, I recommend that you come in here and you click on posts before you start searching. Then you get in here and you can search by a lot of different things. So be careful. I mean, obviously you can search for one person. There's a benefit to that, but we're not going to cover that today. If you want to create your own customized feed, this is how you do it. Put in a list of people that you want to see every day, save that search URL, and now you've got your customized feed you can go to every day. There's a little bonus tip for you. If you want to search with your clients, we don't want necessarily mentioning the company. Most people don't do that. We don't necessarily want it from a company, although you could use this to set up a customized feed for certain target companies. What we really want is the author industry and the author company. If we've got that target list of people that we want to talk to, companies that we want to engage with, these will show us people who are posting from our target companies. So you know that I always play around with my husband, and I'm going to play around with here today. So Next Era is a large energy resource company. Cummins International does some of that stuff. I can put in GE. They have a renewable energy division. So I can go through here and I can put in all of my target companies, the people that I'm interested in connecting with. And then I can put a title. I'm going to do it without the title first and just see what happens. So I'm going to show my results here. And the benefit of this is now instead of hunting and pecking around of who in these millions of profiles is active, now I can come right here and I can find the people that are active because they're posting, and it shows me their posts. So I can thumb through here. I can sort it by top match. I can sort it by latest, and I'm going to find the people that are posting most recently on these topics. Now, why in the world would I do this? Drop it in the chat. Why in the world would I do this? What value does this add for my clients when they can come in here and they can find people who are actually actively posting that are in the target companies they're interested in? What might we do with this information? Share it in the chat. I'm going to keep moving here. So once we've got this list, we could go back over to all filters. And remember, we didn't add the job title down here. So I could add a title down here. Let's say I want to add in marketing. And I would be a little vague because, especially for these industries, there's not a bunch of people active sometimes that aren't in sales or marketing. And so I need to think about that. And it's a great way for our clients to see, is this a place where I could connect with my industry? Or might I need to do something else in addition to coming here on LinkedIn? So I can search for marketing. It tells me that, oh, I put it in author keywords instead of the right place. So I'm going to reset that. I'll just start over. Okay, so we can go into all filters. We're going to search by our companies and figure out where we want to go with this. Oh, it's going to make me put in my companies again. So I can do that. I can add in the companies again. I'm going to come back and see if any of you are sharing. What would you do with this information? What would you do with these posts once you find that these people are posting on these topics? And it's a great opportunity just to see what's going on in these industries, of course, but then you actually want to do something with it. So let's type in engineer and see if I get a goose egg again. Nope, that one worked for some reason. So now I get people that have engineer in their title and they're posting recently who are also from those companies. So I can go to the latest, I can see the top matches, I can play around with that. You might notice, oh, there's not very many engineers in that industry posting. One, my target list is really small, right? I could do industry instead of target companies and I would end up with more. And two, that also gives me some clues we may not love as LinkedIn enthusiasts, but it gives me some clues that the people I want to connect with, I might want to connect with a different way besides just LinkedIn, because they are not active here on LinkedIn. Engineers at these types of companies probably aren't active on LinkedIn. How else could I connect with them? That's an important question for us to be talking about with our clients. Okay, great. So people are saying comment and ask questions on their posts. Love it. Comment and ask questions. Clients can build relationships responding to posts. Exactly, right? You can actually reach them on the platform. You can connect. You can do all of those awesome things. If they aren't posting, they might still be good connections. They might be watching their messages or something. We could try that, but they're going to be harder to reach for sure. And so we can do some of this research. We can broaden it out to industry. We can think about who's the best person to connect. So if I want to do this research, and I'm talking about it here in terms of networking, obviously we could also do it in terms of recruiters. I could do it in terms of hiring, so I could put hiring up here. Oh, I was doing it from the alt filters. So I could do it, probably recruiter in here. I can use the Boolean search up here, so I could put hiring. Oh, I messed myself up. So I could do hiring and, um, product manager, put that into my search, and then it's gonna zero it out. Oh, nope, it didn't. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I get those author keywords in there now on posts and top match. So I'd have to try a little harder to get what I want. Probably go in here and filter it by industry at the very least. I can filter it down by industry, renewable energy, equipment manufacturer. I could add a few of those. We've got our clients focused, we know what they're looking for, and I can narrow it down a little bit by there. Now I'm gonna see people that are a little bit more relevant who might be hiring. My hiring word is not sticking very well, I see, so I'd have to play around with it a little bit. I know that there's a lot on LinkedIn, these posts that make it sound easy, and you just gotta play around with it a little bit and see if you can get what you're looking for when you do these types of searches, but they're very helpful to come in here and play around with that. So there's a few new things that you can do in these systems. And so, yes, you can go to LinkedIn and you can search, but when will you hit the search limit? Do searching by posts hurt your search limit? There's some like unanswered questions around this, right? I think posts are less likely to count toward your search limit if you're using the free version. If you're using the premium version, there's a whole different way that you can search on LinkedIn. And if you're using the premium version, I'll show you that in a minute. But there's also an opportunity to search on the web. Now, we could do this in a Google search before, but it wasn't very accurate. Now there are some new tools, and I'm going to show you one of them because I've got some searches already in there. But I can use some of these new tools and ask these new tools to do this research for me. So I could do this in a Google search, but there's different ways that we can search now that make this even better. Oops, wrong button. Okay, so let's look at Perplexity. And I know some of you have heard me talking about Perplexity, but some of you have said, why isn't anybody else talking about Perplexity? I don't know, because I think it's a pretty darn cool tool. But here's Perplexity AI. And Perplexity is the combination of Google search and ChatGPT. Yes, now if you have the paid version of ChatGPT, you can do this there. But what I like about Perplexity is that it's free and you don't even have to set up an account unless you want it to remember your search names. So what I did is I started a new search here in Perplexity, and I just said, give me names and links of active recruiters for Cummins and similar companies on LinkedIn. And it gave me some recruiters that are at Cummins or similar companies. Now, the benefit of this is that I could go over to this person's LinkedIn, and I can do it by just using this little button right here on Perplexity. It will take me to that person's LinkedIn profile, and then I can extrapolate from there and maybe not even have to use my search results. We'll go to there in just a second. Then I could say other similar companies, give me more, give me more, give me more. And then it's giving me the company names and then what are some of the most active recruiters for those companies. So I can dive deep fast on these tools. Ah, man, I don't know why the system makes me give you a second take. Okay, right. Well, back up. So now that you can see the screen, all I did in Perplexity, and it's perplexity.ai, perplexity.ai. All I did in there was write in what I want. So give me names and links of active recruiters for Cummins and similar companies on LinkedIn. And it gives me the names here so that I can see just a few, but it can take me directly to that person's LinkedIn profile. And we'll look at what you can do when you get there here in just a second. So then I said, give me other similar companies to my client's target company. Gives me a list of a lot of things we could do with this list, right? But I continued this same conversation and said, who are some of the most active recruiters for those companies? And now I've got a few more recruiters that I can tap into at those companies. So this is Google search on steroids, right? I've got it's reaching out to Google, it's finding the latest information, and then it's also pulling in that information. Perplexity and ChatGPT both kind of allow unlimited prompts. I mean, I paste in my entire transcript from a video like this into ChatGPT, the entire transcript. So you're talking thousands, tens of thousands of characters, and it will do this. So ChatGPT, Perplexity, similar, except for that Perplexity is free, has less limits, at least right now, and it does that automatic connection with ChatGPT or with Google for free. So those are some of the ways that we can use a different search tool. Now I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to click on one of these links, and then I'll have to switch over which tab I'm sharing. Unfortunately, these tools just don't allow you to do that very easily. So I'm going to switch over, and I clicked on that person's link. And now I can say, okay, what do I want to do with this? How can I use that profile to keep moving forward? And all of this, is very transparent. It's not, it's public available data, right? So it's just pulling from the public available data. And now I can share the right thing. And you can see once I get to this person's profile that Perplexity suggested, now I've got these people also viewed over here on the right. And the people also viewed is going to give me more things to go on without having to use my search results on LinkedIn. So I can do a lot with a free account. If I'm either using Google, you can do, a Google search and get some of these links and poke around like this, or a system like Perplexity where you get the links and then you spider it out from there. Now, instead of using LinkedIn's internal search and perhaps hitting a random ceiling, right? Because they don't tell you what your search result numbers are. Now, instead of doing that, I can come in here, use a different way to search, use the people also viewed and those types of things to get in and save my search results. Now, I know some of you were talking about this before, but there's another way that we can save some of our search results, and that would be to use the alumni feature. So I can come in and I can start my search here, and I'm just going to search. I'm going to start by using a university. There's a few different ways that you can get here, but I'm just going to start by the school, my alma mater, right? And I'm going to start there. And when I poke into this alma mater page, you go to the alumni tab. And in here, this feature seems to like be there and then go away and be there and then go away. But right now it's there. I can filter down where people work. I can filter them down by category. So let's say I wanted to look for my product manager person. I can search for that, and it will show me the people in my alumni network that also have the title of product manager, and it will filter that down. And again, this is not going to hit your search results the same way as using the search bar will. You still might hit limits because LinkedIn doesn't really tell us how all of this is tracked. But it's just a way you could look at how can I connect with people that are there. And it does a great job of, you can filter down by where they work, and it goes all the way to the bottom. You can also type in a location. You can go sideways and it will tell you what their titles are. Keep going sideways and it will tell you some of their skills. I think that's a little in the weeds. It might be hard to get past there. Of course, their degree, and then you can filter down by the ways that you're connected. So it's another way to search people that we could use. But now we aren't seeing who's active, right? This puts us back into, we have to poke around in people's profiles and see if they're actually on the platform or not. But we could use these types of results to do better searches when we're searching in the post field. So we could add more target companies, we could look at industries, we could look at job titles. And now when we go back and do that search using the post feature instead of searching by people, then we could see, are these people active and how can I connect with them? So it gives us that opportunity to do that. Okay, so posts feature, searching by it, go do it, check it out, see what you think. Before you do that, we've got to have some focus on who are you looking for. And again, this will help you identify those keywords and terms that you put into the area. So in our digital branding class, we've created some structures that help people do this. What are the key terms that you need to be thinking about? Title or occupation. You can use some of these LinkedIn tools to find the right keywords. You can look at industries and the list of industries that are there in LinkedIn. Who are those target companies that your client is looking at? Are there target schools, maybe even not the school they went to, but other schools that tend to be heavy in the industry? Of course, location, you can still search by that. And then are there targeted LinkedIn groups that you want to get into? But if we don't have some criteria in terms of what are they looking for, what are the parameters they're going to put into a search, it gets a lot more frustrating. So think about the data, the inputs that your client needs before they can go in and do these things. And when you've got that structure set up for them, it will be a lot easier to do that. Um, yeah, you can play around with, do you need the quotes around a term or not? And in the Boolean search, you can use ChatGPT to write a Boolean search string for you. Just go in and ask it to write a Boolean search string for someone that's a product manager and this for LinkedIn, and it will do it for you. So you can play around with different ways to do it and see what you get. So when we think about these tools, that's our goal, is what is our client really looking for? If we don't have that defined first, this gets really frustrating really quickly. So there's some cool stuff that's going on in AI that will help you get more specific about your industry, your person, whoever it is that you're wanting to target. And this is just a screenshot from one of these tools. I'm not going to do a live demo or necessarily suggest a tool right now because I'm still testing them out. And there's a lot of them, but most of them are paid. You can get ChatGPT to do this if you ask the right questions, but it's going to be more challenging because it's not trained to deliver these results. So this is one of the systems that I've bought into to test out. And I will try and see if I can blow this up. Let's see if I can make it bigger here. Yeah, there we go. So this is one of the new AI systems that will do some market research for you and your clients. And it asks, what is your job title or position? Describe the products and services you sell. So we'd get a little creative here if we're working with a job seeker. What would they do if they were in a business, if they were independent? How would they describe that as a product or service? We can kind of force this tool to do what we want it to do. And then what niche do you serve? So these tools, you plug in these kinds of answers and they spit out pretty good data around what your market is looking for. I did this twice, once as a resume writer, and then once as my company, what I do in my company. And it spit out these marketing personas that are just quite brilliant in terms of how we can communicate what we do. So I'll show you this. It's a Word document, so it's not super pretty, but it talks about, this is what I do. And it uses the AI language. I mean, it's, you got to play around with its language, but it talks about who I am and what I do. It talks about who I serve. And, most people are running their own business. This is my target audience. They're open-minded, willing to learn, and receptive to feedback. So it talks about who those clients are, the ideal profile of the client, and then it gives me some marketing language that I could use if I'm sharing information with these clients. And I'm going to just go down here and here's some of the other data it gives me. The demand for career coaching and resume writing services is on the rise. So this was me pretending to be, a resume writer, career coach. Here's some of the ideal client profiles that I might narrowed in on. And then here's some research on the current trends. Here's an ideal client checklist. So this is all just from putting in a few points that's in a system that's built to spit out this data. You can see how it would be difficult to get this out of ChatGPT, although you could. This is really more focused on how do you do customer research. Um, and so I love these types of tools. I'm testing them out. This is kind of a starter version. We've been testing some of the other tools that will actually give you the demographics of your audience based on things that you put in. It will give you where they frequent, do they listen to podcasts and those types of things. So people are creating these market research tools that have likely been around for a while, but they've only been used by the big consulting firms who could afford them. Now they're rolling out to where they're available to people like you and I. We put in a little bit of data, and our clients could do this, right? Put in a little bit of data and you learn who is that customer, what do they look like, what keywords can you use to find them, and then we could help our clients extrapolate that out to LinkedIn. So just wanted to be aware of, yes, there are search tools in LinkedIn. There are search tools like Perplexity and ChatGPT or even Bing that will help you find your audience. But there are also some really advanced tools coming out that aren't, they don't have to cost you an arm and a leg, that will help you do the research and really understand who your clients are. And as I experiment with some of those tools, I'll bring some of that back to you, because there may be ways we can use the free tools to achieve those same results if we really dig in and understand the input that they need to create this kind of output. So when we're thinking about doing this kind of research with our client, and there's a few different things I'll share with you. I see people asking for, how do you do business with us? I love that. Thank you. I get so carried away in the fun stuff. I forget sometimes to share some of those things. So the number one thing that we're talking about right now is, of course, our digital branding strategist class coming up in September 28th. It starts. And this is for coaches, professionals, business owners, even if you're outside of the coaching field, who want to learn how to create a digital brand that can get found. Next Tuesday, on Tuesday, the 19th, I'll be talking about why we need to go beyond LinkedIn and how this changed to generative search. I mean, I was using Perplexity, not Google, right? How this change to generative search is going to impact the way we do digital branding. Because if people aren't going to Google to search for you anymore, they're going to Perplexity or Bing Chat or ChatGPT. Is your brand strong enough? Is it clear enough that you will show up well in those systems? That's something we've got to start thinking about, because this is not going away. It's just going to take more and more of the market share from normal searches like Google. So that's one of the things we do. If you want to work with someone who is a digital brand strategist, maybe you're a job seeker or you're a business owner and you don't want to learn all of it, you want someone to help you do it for you, drop a note and I'd be happy to connect you to some of the digital brand strategists who've been doing this for a long time and have the training in doing this. And you can also always follow along on our YouTube channel. If you want to get the latest in branding conversation, our YouTube channel is a great place to do that. We've got a special thing that we're putting together. It's a LinkedIn quiz, and it isn't just, is your profile great? There's a lot of is your profile great quizzes out there. This goes into the 3 areas of LinkedIn: your content, which isn't just your profile, it's also content you might create; your connections, so are you making connections there? And then your community, which goes beyond connections to how are you engaging on a regular basis on the platform. The quiz link is kind of messy, and so I'm not going to put it up here on the screen. Drop a note in the chat and we will give you that quiz link so that you can take the quiz and diagnose your LinkedIn presence for the content, the connections, and the community. It's a lot of fun. We spent a long time creating it, so it's a lot of fun, and it will give you some ideas on how you can improve those areas of your LinkedIn presence. So I hope you'll join me on Tuesday. I'll be over on the Career Thought Leaders LinkedIn page on Tuesday. That event's up if you want to pop over there and get that on your calendar. And we're going to be talking about this idea of generative search replacing a basic Google search. And what does that mean for your digital branding? And especially, what does it mean for us beyond LinkedIn? Can't do everything. Don't want to be overwhelmed, try and do everything. But we do need to think about how we're going to expand the clarity and the consistency of our brand beyond LinkedIn so that these generative tools will better know who we are when people search for us or people like us. Well, this was a lot of fun. I'm so glad that you joined me. I'm going to poke here through the chat for a minute. And oh, great. Quiz links. Yep. Drop a note. We'll send you the quiz links. Love that. And oh, yay, Andrea. We love our digital branding strategists, and so great to be connected with all of you. Thanks for joining here as well. And I will send those quiz links for you. Continue to drop them in. Even if you're watching the replay, we'll come back and check out for those. And I look forward to seeing you if you can join us on Tuesdays. We're over on the Career Thought Leaders page on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, to do our Trend Tuesday Live, keeping you up on the now, the new, and the next in careers. We'll see you all soon. Thank you.